Welcome to Argue Bros, the podcast that gives you multiple perspectives on today's hottest topics. Hosted by NicoPengin, Fred in Progress, and Jess Freeman. If you're looking for some inspiration from and for normal people, or simply want to know the bros a little more, you better open up your mind to the fresh perspective that's coming your way right now.
Welcome to Argue Bros, a podcast that allows myself, NicoPengin, and my two fellow co-hosts, Fred in Progress and Jess Freeman, the opportunity to debate, argue, tell each other who's wrong, or just have a normal conversation. We're just Argue Bros by title because, we like to argue. Anyways, enough rambling on my part. Y'all want to talk about anything in particular?
If there is not one argument on the podcast, then I don't know if it's Argue Bros.
Oh,
well, no matter what we talk about, we're gonna have one argument. That's guaranteed.
That's what we talk about. But again, it's based off of the Gum Bros concept, so we could do whatever. But since nobody mentioned a particular topic, I was looking at the news the other day. Thanks to Fred bringing it up. Yo, I used to clown Kwame, no cap. But now that this dude's been actually very vocal about his journey through the NBA and his journey about how he got there, why he got there, what he has accomplished, like the amount of respect that I have for him as a human being, as a man, as an individual, as an ex-NBA player, as Kobe Bryant's ex-teammate, etc., it's like, wow, so many people judge so quickly and they fail to realize like this guy's a human being, one, and two, I didn't even really know that he was a kid that got drafted number one. Like, there's so many.
Yeah, me either.
I didn't know he was drafted number one as a center at 17.
But that's what makes it even worse, bro, because he was just talked so negatively about. You never even got the chance to be like, oh, let me Google him and see. Or let me look up what draft he went.
Yeah, I had no idea that he was actually nice like that.
I didn't even know he was in the NBA for 13 years.
Yeah, I thought I didn't even know where he came from. I just remember like Stephen A. Smith clowning on him so much, and they made it so popular that it's like, damn, I feel so bad that the only thing I know about him is all these dumb jokes, and now that he's speaking out and he's talking about all these things that he went through, it's like, damn, I can't believe it. Like, that's so true. Nobody looked at the fact that a 17-year-old was getting clowned at by like 30-year-olds and 40-year-old professional journalists. It's crazy.
Discount their opinions and players' feelings and stuff, which I can understand why. It's because the small mindset of this. They make so much money. They're playing basketball. They're playing a sport. Who cares? So people don't care as much. So they look at it for more entertainment more than anything. And so it doesn't really bother them as much because it just jokes to them. It's just jokes to them. So they don't really care as much. But now that you have somebody who was joked on for so long coming out and saying something, it makes people look at it way differently. And now it looks like it was a targeted attack other than a joke. And so it brings up a whole new aspect to ESPN, to all the talk shows and everything like that, and how they gang up on people in certain situations. And it's funny how it comes about. Because it's just like, it's the most popular thing to talk about. And so they all talk about it at the same time. And then they can also create it. They can create the buzz as well. Yeah, and so it really depends on if they want it to be that or if they want to just push it.
Yeah. Because
this is hot. Let me talk about it.
Yeah, because, when Kwame was doing his thing, setting screens, like, I like how he mentioned in the video, like, Kobe's job was to get out there and be the man and drop buckets. Everybody else's job was just to get the hell out the way or set him a screen. And it's like, did I not do that? Did I not help and contribute to Kobe dropping 81 by setting him screens and getting the hell out the way? Are you not entertained? And it's like, bro, it's like, he never mentioned that when he was actively playing because it's like he said, it's like, who's going to listen to him? He's the guy setting screens. He's not the guy that's dropping 81. He's just the guy that's setting screens. And it's like, that's so true. And he's still a professional. And to hear his story about his come up, about where he came from, about what he did with his family, about being able to still provide for them, and all these amazing things that he did not get affected by the terrible slander that ESPN and all them. Like, I'm surprised he's not suing them Like
Nah,
as smart as he is, and as menacing as he is being portrayed at by other people, because a lot of people are talking hella crap about him. It's like, now recently Steven Jackson got put on blast because Kwame screenshotted and posted that screenshot showing that Steven Jackson threatened this guy, and it's just like, dude, are you for real? Like, you supposed to be a Muslim, you supposed to take the high road, you're supposed to let all this stuff go, and you're literally proving the point where it's like you get put on in a media aspect if you take the low road and you bash your fellow black athletes. That's how you get to fame. And it's so beautiful that Kwame's like, he was the black sheep, and now everybody's just like literally just like riding the Kwame rave right now, and just like, hey, this guy used to get talked badly about for such a long period of time. Let's give him his 2 cents of fame. Let's give him an opportunity. And it's like, oh, y'all was not ready for what this man had to say.
Just want to throw out here for just a quick second. Let's just run on a tangent line with me. Now, just come into my head and listen to what I'm thinking about. So, if you look at this Kwame situation, and then you also look at the Kevin Samuel situation, and you look how they both blow up in such a small manner of time, because they're both talking on topics that are hotly contested, and it's also their nice black African men. They both have that. You can, if you listen to both of them, you can both tell they come with the same kind of skin. They both from the same kind of.
They're from the South. You know what I'm saying?
They both with that. They over that honesty, brutality, all that stuff. They got respect. They all, and so I'm just like, with this day and age and technology as it is, giving people voices and letting people create their own shows and talk. Like, he's getting 100,000 of views from a truck, and of course he doesn't need the money. I'm just saying, but he can get hundreds of thousands of views from his truck, getting almost the same amount of views. I wonder how many views the ESPN shows get, because I want to compare them and see what kind of views they get, because they don't release them as publicly. TV shows, they release them as publicly as like YouTube and like Twitch and all those kind of numbers.
No, I think they do.
I wonder what the comparisons are.
I think that's called the Nielsen. There's a report out there that actually measures the Nielsen rating. It can give you numbers to the T about what kind of audience is watching as well. And, I think Netflix and all those other ones do that as well. But they don't release those because those are privately held companies, versus like TV ratings, you're obligated to. I don't know why. I think it's like because of federal mandators. But yeah, it's kind of cool that you have two people that come from the South, one from Oklahoma, one from South Carolina. They're both over 6 feet tall. They were both, hella talked crapped about constantly for many, many years. And now that they have a platform, they're putting everybody that crapped on them on blast. And anybody who disagrees is now. Before, if Kwame did this like years before, everybody wouldn't have cared. Like, yeah, whatever. You're just trying to get, X, Y, and Z. But now he's actually coming with a real value, real content, and it's real stories about what really happened. It's like he's clarifying, yeah, I was supposed to get traded, but I didn't. And now you got a 17-year-old kid that got to be with the top dog in the league. That's the trash talker. And it's like, I already came from a terrible, place where, I don't know his background, but like, maybe he got bullied. Maybe he was in a lot of racist situations. Maybe he's been put in a very tough spot to be able to rise above, get in the NBA, and then just have that repeated, when it's like, the goal was to get into NBA and be free from all this, not go back right into the same thing. It's like when you think of MJ, you're not thinking about, MJ crapping on Kwame. Like, you're not thinking of that. You think of him shooting from like the free throw line after pushing off that dude and hitting that Game 6 winner over the Utah Jazz. You're not thinking about like, dang, this guy made a 17-year-old feel like he was insufficient. As opposed to, like, I love how Shannon Sharp said, like, it's like Kwame wasn't ready for Kobe or ready for MJ. But if he was in another system, like with Pop's system, where it's like everybody gets an equal opportunity to show their talent, it's like he could have been, Asterix could have, been somebody that was great, because he was 17, 6'11", you know what I'm saying? Like, this dude was talented in a mug, you know what I'm saying? But due to the situations at hand, media and all that, it's like, kind of sucks. But now he's getting his retribution, you know what I'm saying? Now he getting his vengeance.
It's so crazy that he was still treading through his NBA seasons with all that depression and all that negativity, treading waters, still making money, being the joke of the NBA, still playing 13 years. That's a healthy NBA career.
Mm-hmm. the way he put that, it was so dope. Like, he was in the NBA for like 12, 13 seasons as a kid who came up with nothing. And to have grown men just like literally take him apart. But I could understand. I see both sides because the media was hoping that he was like the next it thing. And by him being lined up with Jordan, they were trying to hope for that 1-2. But it's like, if your teammate doesn't even want you, you know what I'm saying?
Imagine you come in and literally the star coworker only got 100% gold star quality, everything, literally the best in the office, and that's gonna be your coworker or your partner, and then they say, nah, you ain't good enough. So literally everybody trusts the person who has the most trust and who earned it. Obviously, he got multiple rings and everything, probably possibly the best. I say possibly because there's a lot of people who would argue that possibly the best player in the NBA ever, Michael Jordan. So I mean, like, of course it's going to be difficult for him, and it's not hard for the media to want to sway in that direction. But honestly, I don't think he has anything he could sue over. First of all, second of all, I think that the most important thing that happened in all this, with him talking and pointing all these flaws out, is how people got a reality check that basketball is not everything. Because there's so many people who just saw basketball and idolized it and didn't understand that, like, you could play good at the game, the championship matters, but hey, I'm gonna be walking away with millions whether I win or lose. So I'm succeeding in general, and so it's just like he's changing the mindset of like you got to come win, or else you're unsuccessful. All this stuff like that. Because like and when you think about it, when you actually think about it, it's so easy to pass up. When you actually think about it, they're millionaires sitting on the bench.
Correct.
Like, they're millionaires sitting on the bench, and y'all just like, y'all are bench players. All right, they bench players, but they make more than you will ever make in your entire life sitting down.
Literally.
We're doing nothing. We're playing, doing nothing but their training. And when I say I mean nothing, I don't underestimate what they do. I'm just saying they, compared to like the stardom of the main players scoring like 40 points a night and everything, they're doing nothing theoretically. But you need your bench players and role players to win championships. But I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean?
Like the NBA,
I want to minimize their importance.
Out of the 430, you know, those are the top 1% of all players in the world. So there's only 5 people that can be on the court. So that's like 1% of 1% that's on the floor at all times. Like even Kwame, like this guy could dominate any normal Joe Schmo. Like he's 6'11". He could post anybody down, you know what I'm saying? But it's like to be able to do that at the highest level is a completely different thing, because it's like the skill set is a different requirement. And to be able to request that out of a 17-year-old and not give him a chance to develop and demand, because MJ's running against the clock, knees hurt, everything, you know, it's like he fell from the peak and he's now trying to get another ring with the Wizards or whatever. So it's like, it's all muddy. And then you throw in, you know, people that you would have thought would be on Kwame's corner. You know, you would have thought that at least some media outlets would be defending him and helping him. Like, hey guys, he's young. He doesn't know he came from nothing. He's trying to make a name for himself. He's trying to take care of everybody that's with him, cut him some slack, get him some additional help, you know, provide a little bit more of an assistance to him. But nope, clear, cutthroat, ruthless, feed him to the wolves. And even still then, to be able to maintain the ability to be good enough to be on a roster for 12 years is ridiculously tough. Not everybody is capable of doing that for over 12 years. That's crazy. It's kind of tough on him and whoever's around him, because it's like, you know, at what point is a man supposed to take all that backlash? There's got to be at some point where it's like you say enough is enough and it's time for me to like hand out these hands. And I love how the fact that he was telling Stephen A. Smith,
it took like, 2 scrubs.
It was like, meet me in Seattle, I think he said it was. Like, in Seattle, and like, you're not allowed to sue if somebody punches you or something like that. I thought that was hilarious. It's like, damn. It's like, Stephen A. Smith don't want that smoke. Like, who wants a 6'11", infit, angry black guy?
Ain't no way Stephen A. would show up there.
And if he does, he ain't showing up by himself. Yeah. Or ESPN won't let him show up by himself. ESPN sending that whole squad. They're like, hey, this is our money man.
But where the fuck Stephen A. Smith really got rich and famous off this dude, though?
Yeah, like that one line about him being a bum and everything. That was what made Stephen A. Smith, you know, that was that defining moment in his career, literally. You know,
because
you have to do that.
You gotta give the crowd what they want, but at the same time, the media is also manipulating because they know what the crowd wants, and so they got to create it. They got to create the story, and so they realized it was such a juicy story to run that, and then I bet because some things are just like it's not pre-planned completely. It's like I doubt they planned a complete smear campaign against Kwame Brown, but I bet once they saw Stephen A. get them numbers, they're like, oh. We can get attention and money with this, and they started pushing that narrative because they own all the sports thing back then. So they just started pushing that narrative through all their different sports shows.
It allowed people to essentially become fans of the hatred, fans of the smear campaign. Like, who's the next victim? Who's the next bust? Who's the next person who's not going to live up to the hype? Who's not going to live up to the expectations? Now you have, you know, a whole group of people that their favorite part is just listening to Stephen A. Smith or to the critics just completely trash players. And it's like, bruh, to be able to be one of the 400 people that play and even just wear a jersey, like, you know how many people even apply and submit an application to the G League tryouts? Just the G League tryouts. We're not talking about the NBA draft now.
Jared Dudley. I want to throw that name out there. Throw that name out there, man. Still in the league. Jared Dudley.
Yeah. You know, it's like people be looking at
Jared Lennon in there, but Jared Dudley's still here. What's up?
Yeah, people be looking at like this guy's skill set. It's like, what? There's nothing that he can do, but it's like, you know, he's getting paid.
I'm curious. Well, I really would like to know strategically what Jared Dudley brings to. We got to bring something.
Oh, well, that's evidence. He's a veteran, so all he does is he tells the kids, the 19-year-olds, the one that could be his literal sons, and he tells them, look, this is what you eat on game day. This is how you do it. And that's it. That's all he is. It's called like vet presence. It's the same that Udonis Haslem.
Stability.
Udonis Haslem on the Miami Heat. It's like their sole purpose on the team is to show the next and up and coming people how it is to be in the NBA. The next and up and coming people, they got to decide, am I going to be like that bum? Or am I going to take
because the coaches were never players, so they probably couldn't communicate all the things they need to do. So I guess probably, and you notice a lot of the veteran players are on like the contender teams. You're not seeing veteran players on losing teams. No. That's just full of young guys or trash players.
Yes,
I mean,
exactly.
You're not going to see veteran talent.
Exactly, because
they don't need it. They don't need it.
It's a waste of time, a waste of money, and a waste of salary cap, and a waste of a team roster spot. Because when you're making a deep run, you want to be able to have at least 1 to 2 veterans in there in the locker room, knowing, you know, what to say, what to do, and it's even more important.
What to expect.
Exactly.
Yeah, like in the logistics, just like you're going to away team, like what do you need to be ready for? Like,
yeah, or having somebody hype you up because they know, you know, when I was in this situation, I would have wanted a veteran who's been in this situation to tell me, yo, you could do this, man. I'm on the bench. I'm here just to cheer you on, my guy. Your job is to make sure you eat this, you do this, and then you go out and score buckets. But, you know, as you mentioned, it's like those teams that are developing, they're not going to get a roster spot for a veteran because they're not trying to win. They're trying to teach every person, if it's a 15-man roster, they want every member of a 15-man roster to go out there and bust their butt so that way they can see who are the top 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 players they need to solidify. And then as the seasons progress after 1, 2, 3 years, then they can start seeing who they got to cut. And then once they get that jackpot trade where they can trade picks, they can trade money, they can trade players in order to get that superstar, then they can grab that superstar like how they grab LeBron, and they can set LeBron up with all those veterans that he needs in order to teach the rookies and the up and coming stars how to become the next it. Cause, you know, and I think this is just my estimation. I think that's one of the things that Nick Young was telling, you know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things he was teaching him, like, yo, these are the ropes. Cause Nick Young wasn't that it guy at the moment. You know, he was a veteran on the team, you know, and it's like he was trying to show D'Angelo the ropes and whatnot. And it's just like one of those like interactions where the veteran's trying to show the rookie how to, you know, be in the league. And it's just like, oops, press the record and the upload button. You know, it's like, and one of those things, and it's like, you know, after that one season, you know.
Oh, look, you calling Nick Young a veteran?
He was a veteran at the time.
Theoretically.
Yeah, yeah. Like, what do you think of veteran?
A veteran might have been 10 years in the league.
No, not everybody's in the league for 10 years.
Nah, he had like at that time.
No, I'm talking about what kind of. I'm talking about like
years.
veteran aging out. I'm not talking like veterans that've been there for 2 years. Oh, I made it to the second round, third round, the playoffs. I'm a veteran. I'm talking about like veterans who aren't producing that much. They're only on the team because they're a veteran in their later years. I'm not talking about like a veteran who can actually. Nick Young was young, still could play and stuff, and still can play.
Yeah, but he was this guy's veteran. But I get what you're saying. Yeah,
he's more like a senior.
Yeah, he wasn't the one tasked with dropping all the buckets. He was the one tasked with dropping all that knowledge, but he also dropped that thing too, you know what I'm saying? He dropped that money on the ball, but that's why, that Kwame Brown situation is so pretty like unique, and I don't know where it's gonna go, especially since now, Stack is being kind of special, and and Charlemagne issued an apology. So if Charlemagne is apologizing for what he said and what he did, that means that at least Kwame's gonna drag everybody else.
Charlemagne don't want no beef because he's trying to stay corporate.
That's what I'm saying.
America.
Yeah, he realized,
and Kwame
he saw those numbers.
Kwame ain't got nothing to lose. Kwame ain't got nothing to lose. He talking about his rape and all this stuff that Charlemagne did. So Kwame ain't got nothing to lose. He's like, I don't fight with somebody who don't got nothing to lose. That's one of the rules. And so he backing out. He like, I don't care. I'll apologize and run away. That's the only thing that Charlemagne is really good for. He will give up his pride and run away. That's why he's still in the game.
That's why he's really smart.
Because he know when to run.
He plays that card so well, the professional card. Like, yo, this was just for business. This was strictly business purposes. This was nothing personal. But basketball players are a little bit different because they're athletes. Their pride is on the line. Because you got a lot of people that are on their side and they're whispering in their ears, are you going to let him punk you, man? You going to let that he only averaged 5 points a game guy punk you? Like, he only set screens for Kobe. You going to let him punk you? You was an all-star. It's like, man, you just digging your own ditch. And talking about digging your own ditch, bruh, the Joe Budden situation has me laughing because Joe Budden is one of the people that I thought was like, if you down with me, I'm with you. Like
he for the creators, man. Until he a business owner.
You've been talking about him for so many years about what he's been doing in podcasting, and all I kept hearing was like, this guy is such a loyal guy. He put his friends on. He's getting them motivated, even though he talks hella trash. He does it only because it's a business purpose, it's a decision, and it's like fast forward and it's like, wait, what? He made a business decision without his partners.
He's a fucking sellout, bro.
And it's like, wait,
it's disappointing too, man.
Yeah, it's like, wait, hold on, didn't you do it because of your partners? I thought this whole thing was because of your partners. Like, no, it's the Joe Budden podcast, and it's like, ooh, I can't believe you just did that to your homies, bruh. Like, are they even cool? Because I know there was like a follow-up. I know there was like a follow-up episode or whatever.
The follow-up episode was tense after what they broke up. They done. Rory and Mal got their own podcast now. And Joe Budden rolling with Ice and Ish. It's funny because it split the entire community. Because like half the community, I don't even know if half the community is still supporting Joe Budden. The other half's like, whenever watching again, gonna watch Rory and Mal. Either way, when something splits, it weakens. So it's like the ship isn't complete. Did y'all hear Kevin Hart though? What Kevin Hart had to say about that? I don't know. Kevin Hart don't like Joe Budden song, man. But Kevin Hart ripped that man to shreds. Joe Budden to shreds.
But he was accurate in his.
That's what the problem was. He was straight. He didn't get all hype. He said facts, and it was terrible.
Kevin Hart ripped him because Kevin Hart has a deep team, bro, that he's been rocking with for a long time.
Yeah, he did it right, and he knows how to keep it together. He was telling them how he had beef with them, but they still together. I'm like Joe Budden them.
Yeah, because you can have. You could iron sharpens iron, so you could rub it in with your homies, but one, you can't air that. You can't air that. Two, not only can you air that, he did it live. He
fired that man live. Bro.
Like, hold on,
like he was an employee. He said, "You're fired." They're like, what?
Bro, it's like every
the Donald Trump out here. He said, "You're fired."
It's like, and it's like, I love at least how they did that after the episode where they all came together and at least discussed what happened. Because I was hella confused. Like, why would they're homies. Like, why would they split over a decision they made together? And it's like, wait, the decision wasn't made together. And it's like, gotcha.
As more and more, it's funny how everyone was on Joe Budden's side. But then as more and more facts came out, they're like, wait a minute, it was a percentage contract. Oh, so they were supposed to get the numbers. Oh, what? It's like it's so funny how that happens. It's a similar, but in a quicker way to how with Kwame Brown. Just like if we want to throw it back, it's just like for example, Joe Budden's podcast and them separating. Now Rory Mal coming out about what actually happened is similar to Kwame Brown now that he's all the way out of the league, except he took 20 years to come out and say everything that happened.
Exactly.
And now he got a whole following and stuff. But Rory Mal doing it way quicker because they were already in the media scene, already talking.
No,
and
networking. Like for Rory Mal is different though, because Joe Budden and Rory, they've been like very disrespectful to each other blatantly, you know.
For real?
Yeah.
Like through this whole situation?
Nah, not even this whole situation. Even before, like there'll be petty shit that it'll be like, oh, okay.
Damn.
Yeah.
Some people thought it was jokes, but if you go back and listen now, you can tell some real salt and vinegar.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, because I used to hear some of those things and I was like, damn, they sound just like us, just roasting each other. But it's like some of the stuff, it's like,
the pod sounded later because it was real and we just didn't know it.
Yeah, it's like it sounds really entertaining, but is that something that you would tell your homie on air? Like what? Like,
bro, and Maul said that Joe Budden would say mad reckless stuff like you know how they had a business together, the podcast. Anytime they had a business meeting about the podcast or any decision with the podcast, Joe Budden would tell him, "Don't worry about it or mind his business" or some shit.
Yeah, it was like not his business.
Yeah, that's kind of weird how at the end it was just like the conclusion was like Joe Budden's like, it's my shit. I was like, all I'm saying is at the end of the day, this was my thing. I put y'all together to work for me. And it was like, bro, that's not how we came into the business. It's like we came as your friend and we was working on this together. We was collabing, not working for the man. Was collabing, and it's like now that I don't know if it was the hype man or what kind of individual gave him a contract that made him go, damn, I really don't need my friends for this kind of money. Like what?
No, it was him internally. That's just who he is. As Joe Budden, who he is over time. Like he has such a track record of that. It just you never thought he would go that way with his friend. Yeah, ego and pride, definitely.
Yeah, it's that pride because like you know, I remember when he had his hit or whatever, and he would think that his hit was above everybody else's, and it was like everybody kept clowning it. It's like you only have one good song, and you're dragging that one good song into this, and now he's actually a pretty good podcaster, and he put his friends on who are actually really good podcasters.
He was a good podcaster.
I stand corrected. He was a good podcaster.
Well, I want to throw two things out there. The podcast is not terrible now. Honestly, depending on what you like, if you like a flawed villain, then listening to the podcast is still great because you just hear he's insane and some of his thoughts and stuff. But it's not terrible. Not terrible. He still has the skills to do that. And then on top of that, the second thing is, I mean, yeah. If you want that now, because I mean, that's the point in life he's at. He literally just lost both of his co-hosts. Half the world thinks he's a sexual predator and don't like him now because that other girl left the network as well. Things aren't really going well for
Joe Budden?
Joe Budden podcast. Yeah, she came out. A girl came out and said that Joe Budden made her feel uncomfortable. Sexually harassed her, verbally sexually harassed her on the See the Thing or See the Real podcast, something like that. It's on Joe Budden network.
Oh, I seen that now. And there was a video that like afterwards that they said that they was in an interview together, and two co-hosts that was in that interview made them hug, and while they was hugging, Joe Budden was doing like a weird like hip thrust.
Yeah, it's like everything that this guy's been doing that he thought that celebrity status was gonna let him like get a free pass on. And it's like, yeah.
He thought he was Drake. He on
the I'm a human. He on the I'm a human social media run. I don't know how many his son Instagram little thing we've been seeing, man. He can post his children more than ever. Like I'm a human. I'm just a father. He ain't saying all that. But you know he on the social media run,
he's
posting his kids and trying to
clean his image.
Yeah,
he's not going to be posting. Yeah, he's not going to be posting nothing like that's going to make people be like, I knew it. I knew it. This guy was a predator. I knew this guy was this. I knew this guy was this. He's cleaning himself up, and I'm pretty sure that his professional or his professional public relations individual that I'm pretty sure he got through the contract is helping him sort out this social media maelstrom that's coming his way and like literally destroying him. And he might definitely look back at it a couple years from now and be like, "Dang, I really dropped the ball on my homies." Because now it's like, think about it. If you got your two homies that came from you with nothing, and you just
it's more than just that. It's more than just that.
You
dropped the ball on all creatives.
You cut them out big time. Now it's like, who is to say that you are a trusty individual? Like, who you got in your corner that's gonna say, "Oh, yeah, I can trust Joe Budden. He ain't going." Like, dude, you just cut out the closest people to you. Like those were the closest people to you, and you just did it them like that. Like, what does that say about who else is coming? Because then now it's like, damn, I really messed up, but my pride isn't gonna let me say I'm sorry. It's like literally, it's stuck in the throat. Like, I want to apologize for saying I messed up, guys, but it's like the pride won't let me get to it and be like, nah, it's my show. It's got my name on it.
I wouldn't trust him even if he did apologize, because his track record, he's him. There's no changing him at this point. That man, the way he moves and does things, I don't think there's going to be too much changing. So that's why I think they were ready to go. Just like how Maul was like, once the respect is gone, he's gone. It's just like, I don't think you can garner that respect back. That's the actions. And once someone shows they don't respect you, it's not something they just respect you all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's the same with trust. It's like, you can't just remove it and then just say, give it back to me. Like, you can't just do some, messed up thing and then say, well, we was homies, so you got to forgive me. It's like, what? It's like, you did all this wrong on me and you expect me to just act like nothing even happened? And like you mentioned, that respect factor, it's like, it's like intellectual property. It's like, if somebody was a part of the process of creating something, and now you're saying that A, they weren't a part of it, and B, that you were the one that was telling them what to do the whole time, and it's like, without me, you wouldn't be in this position. It's like, nah, without them, you wouldn't be in that position, because there were so many, there's got to be thousands of ideas that they bounced back and forth on the podcast live and in the recording to be able to get there. It's not just one person that carries that whole thing. Mm-hmm. Like, you have to delegate that to your compadres. You have to have that individual that can carry the conversation, or else the Joe Budden podcast would just be a monologue, and it wasn't no monologue
at all. It was no monologue.
Like, he wasn't.
Joe Budden, bro. Joe Budden would say weird shit, and then Rory and Mal would clean it up with some real ass shit.
Yeah, it's like, you need people that can hold you accountable, because Joe Budden was wilding. And talking about somebody that's been wilding lately, yo. Elon Musk has been wilding, yo. This guy is now like Donald Trump with his tweets, man. Like, his tweets are setting like the crypto world on fire. Every time this guy is tweeting, like, Bitcoin is either rising by a lot or it's going down by a lot.
Central figures should not exist with the crypto, but man, everybody really got so a lot of people got introduced to crypto through Elon and his little Twitters, and then a lot of people are like, once people notice that money moves based on the social media, and then Musk moves the social media, hence cryptocurrencies moves by him and like Mark Cuban right now.
Yo, facts. I know about Mark Cuban.
Tweets are moved by him and Mark. Crypto moved by him and Mark Cuban. It's literally technical analysis versus fundamental analysis, and like, you don't even got to look at the charts. You just got to look at the tweets now. What you talking about? You got to look at the tweet. That's what a lot of people, your money gonna be at.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people used to do before Biden was elected. Is if they wanted to know politics, they would just look at Trump's tweets and see what was happening, because Trump was just tweeting all national secrets. You know what I'm saying? And now it's just like, it's almost the same thing, except crypto is much more readily available and the information is out there. Just a lot of people don't put in that time and effort in order to learn it at all. So they essentially just use Elon's tweets as a, hey, he talked about a positive for Bitcoin, so let's buy Bitcoin. Or, hey, he talked about, Elon, that Tesla is no longer going to be using Bitcoin for purchases on a Tesla. And now, Tesla, I think Tesla dropped a little bit, not too much. But Bitcoin definitely plunged when he was like, yeah,
down like 50%, 30% from its max, what it was previously. Yeah.
Like that's
most people are like, hey,
goal.
it's time to buy. I mean, I would buy if I had money.
Yeah, people are saying it's time to buy, but also think about the people who lost billions and billions of dollars with that tweet. They ain't gonna be too happy about that Elon Musk tweet.
I mean, if they don't sell, they just hold and hopefully it come back. If not, they lost that and gone forever.
Yeah, because think about
either crypto gonna rebound, either crypto gonna hey, they gonna be they're like, okay guys. Now hear me out now. Bitcoin is down, right? Mm-hmm. All we need is one Musk tweet. Be like, all we need is one Musk tweet, because if we can get him to say that even though it uses a lot of carbon monoxide because of electricity, that his company still uses Bitcoin, we good. That's all I gotta
that's all a public relations thing, where it's like Elon Musk is like, hey, how do I tie in cryptocurrencies into creating sustainable energy? Let me trash talk about how all the miners are using electricity, which is powered by gas, and it's destroying the environment, in order to push the Tesla batteries, so that way I can charge not only cities and countries, but also be able to build plants in other places in the world. So that way the cryptocurrency is based off of the Tesla batteries, and the Tesla batteries in the houses, as well as the Tesla power plants. And it's like, hey, he's winning on the Bitcoin. He's winning on the Dogecoin. He's winning on the renewable energy.
He's built a like Amazon did. That's what he's doing. He's in an electric and car field. He's building a monster company like Amazon.
And he's just staying so laser focused on the task at hand, which is renewable energy. And it's just like everything else is just surrounding it, to the point where it's like, now it's like, yo, to send money, it's like it requires energy. Nobody was thinking about that before he started talking about it. It's like, wait, what? It requires energy, so it's not a free transaction? It's like, nah, that's where the fees are coming from. It's like, what? It's like, yeah, so if you use the Tesla stuff, then it's, you know what I'm saying?
Out of place, out of mind theory. It's just like when you throw away your trash and then the trash man come pick it up, you think nothing of it after it's gone, but you don't know, still just destroying the environment. It's just further away from you, so you ain't got to think about it.
So you just got to get somebody that's like, hey, I'll pick it up for you. You just got to pay an extra fee. And I think it's a genius, for one. Two, you know, I think he might have something to do with Dogecoin. Like, I still think like Dogecoin is such a joke that he might have been one of the early investors in it, like when it was worth like 0.0001 cent or whatever, because it's like, or he was just an early adopter. A lot of people rumored that the reason that he said that Tesla's no longer going to accept Bitcoin is to then push it into Dogecoin. But then when he pushed it into the renewable energy factor, it's like, oh my gosh, like he's winning on so many ends just with bringing that conversation to the forefront. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Like just by bringing that to the forefront, it's like, boom, now he can attack, and he can do it with precision across so many different things, so many different Bitcoins. And I know a lot of companies that are creating their cryptocurrencies, or even companies that are trying to get endorsements for their current ones, are going to be looking at him like, hey, I saw what you did with Bitcoin. I saw what you did with Dogecoin. You know what I'm saying? What about Ethereum? You know what I mean? Like, I bought Ethereum.
Nah, but Buterin is not letting Musk come up in there and ruin his thing.
Who?
Buterin, the one who created Ethereum.
He created Ethereum?
Vitalik. He's not about to let Elon Musk come up in there and ruin his cryptocurrency dreams. He just finished donating $1 billion in crypto to India. Stuff.
Oh, that was that individual. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah,
you know,
Vitalik Buterin.
But you know, Tesla's a billionaire, so it's like he don't need the money. It'll just be like, hey, I get to put on somebody. I get to put on another investor or another inventor. I get to put on another entrepreneur. You know, it's like, because think about it. That one tweet got big time power now. You know, it's like, that's a huge pull to be able to literally create and destroy a whole industry. Forget company. Forget a person.
It's just the power of attention.
Yes, and that's so important. Like, a lot of people didn't realize that until now. Like, one tweet can literally move 1% to 2% of the world's money. That's crazy. That's one person has the power to affect trillions of dollars.
Man, oh my God. They need to random thought I want to throw out here. Yeah, you know how Drake versus Meek Mill rap beef. Drake was like, Meek Mill got Twitter fingers. I'm like, man, if they reflip that bar now and be like, Drake got Twitter fingers like Elon Musk or something like that, fam. Like literally, Twitter fingers is now making money out here, guys.
Yeah.
Like, get on your Twitter.
Yeah, being able to
making money now.
It's crazy.
Like,
and
billions,
Hey,
billionaires moving money with Twitter.
Something.
Hmm?
That's a bar. You're onto something.
Heck yeah, because think about it. The fact that literally Trump and Elon can make tweets and companies can either make a lot of money or lose a lot of money, that says volumes. I'm personally surprised though that like the SEC or any investment company or investment regulations or whatever aren't looking into it, because I'm pretty sure at some point they're going to start saying things like you're not allowed to tweet as a blue check mark about cryptocurrencies, because that's something that they do now, that if you invest in a company, you're legally not allowed to like tell people, hey, go buy this company. Like that's something that you are not allowed to do right now. So for the fact that Elon can do that right now, it's like he's literally just like telling the SEC like SMD, you know what I'm saying?
What you can do about that?
Yeah, it's like, hey, y'all caught me like smoking on air and stuff like that, and y'all was trashing me when Tesla tanked a couple percentage points. It's like, y'all can't get me now. Because now he can tweet about anything related to cryptocurrencies and the SEC can't say none. IRS can't say none. None of these big governmental figures for now, keyword for now, still 2021, they can't say nothing for now because obviously I know for a fact in the future they're definitely going to regulate it. They're definitely going to look at regulating cryptocurrencies. That's something that I'm pretty sure they're starting to regulate now. I even think there's, if I look it up, if there's government agencies.
If they try to regulate cryptocurrencies,
look up if government agencies are creating cryptocurrencies, because I think I saw somewhere that a government agency was looking into creating a cryptocurrency. Which
really trying to make a standard.
Yeah, which really threw me off because then it's like now you're making a standard dollar.
Why governments are racing to develop their own virtual cryptocurrencies.
There it is. You see, it's like they're doing it, and now it's like it's going to be a private sector versus the government. It's like
apparently India plans to introduce its own digital currency. That's how they shut. I know India shut down a few trading platforms over there recently.
And that's going to be very dangerous because it's like now the government's going to try to regulate the market that's been
European Central Bank has one as well. They just finished their public consultation period for a digital euro currency.
It's so like the wild west.
Big banks are coming. If you can do it, big banks can do it because they got money to afford to catch up now.
The wild west is now the governments are trying to tame it. And one of the things is like look at people that run the show. Look at the creators of these cryptocurrencies. They did all this work, and now the government's going to be like, yeah, your thing's not worthless. I mean, it's not as worth as, the USD cryptocurrency. And then it's like, what would you even use to like compare it to? Because Bitcoin, you compare it to dollars. You say one Bitcoin is worth 50K. One Dogecoin is worth 0.07. So would you say that one crypto dollar is worth an actual dollar? But the whole point is to have it unregulated. And once you regulate it, it's defeating the purpose. So it's like, and I know the government just wants to be able to track the money and see who's spending it, why they're spending it. But
I'm saying cryptos are going to crash when they try to regulate it.
It's going to be
I don't think it'll go out of existence, obviously, but I do think like how much it's worth and the value of it will drop if government tries to intervene. I'm not talking about create their own currency. I'm talking about if they try to intervene in the already established market and create rules.
The government always intervenes, bro, and this shit always crashes, but it always shoots right back up.
It's tough. It's a tough outlook because of the people that are looking to see if it's truly something that either A, can hide money from the government, or B, something that will allow them to feel almost a liberated mindset of money and not have to ever think about looking over their shoulder. Now they got to look at this because, IRS is starting to track down crypto investments and crypto transactions. So if the IRS is starting to look at this like, hey, if you in America and you making money with Bitcoin, you better let us know. But they don't have
it, man. USA better chill out. Don't be like Russia, Germany, and them.
Oh, what they
Requiring,
doing?
they better chill out. They better chill out. Requiring people to like tell them how much what they doing in crypto and such. Certain countries, they better chill out. We don't need America doing that.
Oh, they're gonna.
A big government already doing enough.
Uncle Sam's like, give me my 30%, cuz.
And what they tag them like, hey, take it from the billionaires. You already see that. You can see their money. You can visually see it. You gonna see mine. What you mean?
USA is like the laws were made to protect the billionaires. If I tax them and they lose their job and they lose their company and they run out of business, now this company got to fire 15 million employees because the way that the company was set up, it was set up in a way that it would allow all these tax incentives. And the billionaires have been spending millions of dollars, so they're not going to say, you know what, in order for this business to keep thriving, I got to pull back on my spending. Nah, they're going to be like, yeah, y'all fired.
That's what Amazon was doing before they started doing their little $15 thing, dropping people off.
Yeah, Amazon, Walmart, all them companies, you standing up for higher pay, well, we don't need you. Be gone. It's like, I've been working here 15 years. It's like, yes, you were working here that long, and now somebody else is going to replace you that just started today. And they're going to be paid way less, and they're going to get trained half as good, and they're going to do a terrible job, but they're still going to get employed. They're still going to be there. They're still going to, as long as they clock in and, they don't cause no stupid stuff. And it's a sad place to be in, but, unfortunately, that's the world of
the job market
business.
now, and especially the job market now after like COVID and everything. Like we're coming out of something else craziness similar to the Great Depression of our parents' generation stuff, and so now we get to see how the world rebounds. And honestly, if you're
taking a part of it
now, if you're in a good position right now, you could grow with the comeback now. Honestly, if you're in a good position in life where you can invest and stuff
it's like almost a reset. Like everything got reset, and now everybody is looking for the thing. They're looking for the next.
But the
thing.
tax bracket, I think, are gonna solidify in a few years after. Like with the prices moving up, some people lost their jobs. Middle class is gonna shrink. Poor class is going to grow, and it's going to be way harder to break through the tax bracket than ever than before. So I think if you're not moving right now, it's going to be way harder to move after in the next 5 years.
It's going to be a tough.
And things are solidifying. Things are changing right now, and so honestly, you should be trying to change with them. Like I wish that I would have had planned out and had set aside money and wasn't in the position I'm in now, where like I would just waking up a year ago. You know what I mean? Because otherwise, I would have had money set aside where I could be jumping in. You see all these people become millionaires off cryptocurrency. I could have got thousands, a little $1,000 here, a little $1,000 there. On money I would have invested. But if you're not ready if you ain't ready for the wave gonna just drown you, pass you right by.
A lot of people they want to ride the wave, but they don't know you got to have that surfboard ready. You got to have your equipment already set up. You got to be paddling already. It's like you got to be already there, putting in work. Saying, you know what, I've been practicing on these 5-foot waves. I'm ready for that 50-foot monster that's coming my way. A lot of people aren't thinking like that, and it's like, right now, Apple and Epic Games, they're going to war over, intellectual property. Like, it's ridiculous. I never would have thought Apple and Fortnite, Epic Games would be in a lawsuit for what? For having access to the App Store? Like, are you kidding me?
I'm not even fully cognizant of that fight, but I've heard some tidbits about how it's not even completely just about Epic Games. It's like the App Store they're trying to fight back against. A lot of apps are trying to fight back against the App Store's services and terms and conditions because it's overbearing on them more and more. And so this is like a stand, if you will, and people are standing behind Epic Games to fight Apple for their terms and services. That's just the base overview. That's just the base overview. This is going to be
important. This is going to be so important for intellectual property because it's going to have so many ramifications. And before, I would say that Apple's the bigger of the two. But now, since Epic has been expanding into PCs, they've been expanding into mobile, they've been expanding into console gaming, they've been expanding into crossplay. It's like Apple's just Apple. So Apple is their own ecosystem. So now it's like, you got two equally humongous giants that are now taking this
trying to eat each other heads off.
Yeah, and a lot of people are saying that Epic understands that they're going to lose the fight, but the fact isn't to actually win the case, but it's to bring awareness that Apple can't do things like that. You can't be making a 30% cut of all digital goods and services. It's like that's huge. That's huge, you know, especially because I see here that Fortnite was kicked out of Apple's App Store last summer for flouting Apple's rules on digital payments by directing players to its own outside system. And that's where it all stems from. That's literally where
it's because there's a sales funnel. There's a sales funnel, and they break in the sales funnel. It's like, well, that's a sales funnel for a $1 trillion company. And
exactly.
That's millions, billions.
Yeah, that's 30%
that they taken away. That they taken away by going to the Epic store.
Yeah, Apple's like, we only want 30 cents out of every dollar. Epic's like, fam, we don't. That should
teach y'all customers something right there. They fighting for you. They fighting for your attention right there.
Yeah, because Epic is like, fam, it's the same price on our website or on our this, on our that. And we get 100% or we get 90% or however much, but it's not no 70%. Mm-hmm. I was like, how are you going to give me 70% of my own thing? It's like, at least a good 90, give me 90 and you take a 10% cut. Like, come on, man. It's like, Fortnite was one of the driving factors of people getting iPhones and iPads and iPods. This is going to be so interesting, not only on a business aspect, but also on a technological aspect and a business, technology, and intellectual property aspect. Because, as you mentioned, it's that sales funnel. Apple is just saying to use our services, you got to pay X amount. To sell on our website, to sell on our app store, you got to pay a 30% fee. And it's like, well, they could just go to our website, download the app for free or pay on Epic and then download the app on the phone and continue using it as it's an integrated one. And Apple's like, nah, you can't steal money from us because that's, you're going around the loop.
How do you like it so far? Don't forget to reach out via social media and suggest the next hot topics to argue about. For now, keep listening to this wonderful episode of Argue Bros.
But, those are just a couple of things that are going on in the world today. Like, it's kind of crazy how, like, all these things are all happening at the same freaking time. Like, it's overlapping, layered by layered by layered. And there's a huge more. Like, I don't know if y'all have any other crazy things that are happening right now in the media, but it's kind of wild how the news is happening, and especially now post-COVID, it's like, dang, there's actual interesting news, not just talking about this pandemic that feels like the bubonic plague 2.0.
I mean, there's lots of negative shit going on in the world right now, but I'd rather not talk about it just because it's just like so much negativity. I'd rather just keep it nice and lighthearted how we're going over now, but man. COVID got slowing down. Well, in some parts of the world, in other parts it's speeding up. Like in India, it's speeding up. So,
yeah, it's kind of ironic. Like the only good news that I was looking at in the Google News, the only good news. Like, all right, guys, listen. This is what the only positive thing I saw. It's not a real positive, but this is the only thing that was worded in a positive way. Compared to everything else that I read. This is the caption. Nation's largest Confederate memorial to get new exhibit telling the whole story of Georgia.
I don't like it already.
Right? Like, that is the most positive headline. Like, look, this is the headline right above that. Aircraft crashes after taking off from airport.
Well, then.
Like, what? Like, yo.
Yeah, not a lot of positivity.
Like, yo, these are the kind of things that are going on in the world post-COVID.
Oh, no. And then you got to sprinkle in, a little bit of this man became a millionaire off of Dogecoin. This one, millionaire off of GameStop. Bloomberg got to throw out this one, millionaire off of Shiba. Bloomberg.
What y'all think, though, about the next big craze? Y'all think it's going to be like a Bitcoin alternative coin? NFT?
NFT, yep.
You think
I don't know too much about it, but I think NFT is one of the things that are going to be popping up. It's in the same vein as crypto, but it's not similar. But that's where all the money's at right now. And by all the money, I'm talking about all the rich people getting in on the NFT. Because apparently it's going to be the new way for them to have art and museums and save stuff and everything. Having NFT coding.
As long as people put value to something, someone else.
Man, what?
If 2 or 3 people say something is valuable, at some point that is going to be valuable. You know what I'm saying? now I gotta get it in. And now when they buy, it's like, oh snap, now it's at 20%. I should have bought some more. Let me take a mortgage out. Let me get this. Let me get that. Let me max out my credit card. And then Elon must be like, yo, NFT is for losers.
Imagine.
The thing crashes.
No. What if he does an NFT? But for like sexy, you know how Model S, Model 3, Model Y, Model. What if he does like an NFT artwork for that? That'd be probably really good.
That'd be crazy.
So they'll probably sell heavily.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like this guy got so many ideas that are revolving, and he just doesn't know which one to pick. Because a lot of them be like, "Yo, did you really think this tweet out that much?" Because like,
let me tell you something. When I see a Tesla, I be seeing the Tesla post. Like, I really want a Tesla. I'm a Tesla fanboy, but also I look at like how the electric market cars is spreading out. A lot more good competition out there. But I'm just like, I want a Tesla, but then you see those stupid little social media posts like, if you bought a Tesla in 2001 and if you instead bought the stock, look how much you could have had. And just like, do I need a vehicle? Can I just walk? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it makes you second guess. Like, should I buy? When is it? When do I have enough where I can splurge on a vehicle or on something I want? You know what I mean? And when should I just invest? Like, because you can just go into a loop of investing and never get something that you actually want to use. You know what I mean? And so that's when just like, you got to always think about, should I invest it in the actual intellectual property, or do I invest in the product they're selling because I like their product? And how will I feel about it a few years from now? Because when you buy the product, it depreciates. But you're not buying it because it's going to depreciate. You're buying because you want it and you're going to like it. So it's a real conundrum, if you will.
It's a good problem, I would say, because you got to look at it in all different kind of angles that you weren't looking at it before. A lot of people, they just want a Tesla just to flex on people. And to those, I say, hey, if you can do it, go for it. But if you're going to flex on people, but then you're going to be sleeping in that Tesla, then that's on you, because that's a lot of money for a car that gets charged up electrically if you can't afford it.
Plus you got to pay for the electric now. I mean, not now. I mean, like, you got to pay for the electric just like you pay for gas, but it's cheaper. But I mean, still. But I mean, I want it because when I get my Tesla, I'm planning on getting my Tesla when I'm already retired, hopefully in 5 to 6 years. I don't got to work a 9 to 5. Because my Tesla, I'm getting it day one. I'm taking like at least a 6-month trip across all 50 states. I'm gonna just be driving. That's Tesla.
Yeah,
all the superchargers.
How are you gonna be paying that shit off while driving through 50 states?
I'm gonna be retired. I have a business plan. I'm trying to get
the car's gonna be paid off.
I'm gonna have something like an asset that'll pay off the car. I'm not gonna get the Tesla unless I have an asset. So that's why I'm like, I said hopefully 5 years. Because hopefully in 5 years I'll be able to afford a Tesla and I'll be able to have.
But by then the competition gonna be stiff. I was looking,
but Tesla's constantly innovating. They're about to have a car that comes out that goes in a few years that goes 60 in like 1.1. Yeah. I'm saying they constantly innovating, and so I'm gonna look at my market options and see what's out there. Because I mean, that's what I'm saying. Similar to
the iPhone coming up, and then Samsung coming out with something that's equally powerful.
I love you knew what kind of analogy I was trying to
just
throw
like Windows and Mac. Like you have alternatives
competition
that may be either at the same, if not far superior, because those people are looking at how Tesla's doing it, what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong, and saying, oh, I could do something way better, that's way more cost effective, that can reach more people. That's
not Apple-like in how they try to restrict you into your maintenance. That's the main thing I don't like about Tesla is
forcing you to be in the ecosystem.
I don't like that. I don't like being trapped in the ecosystem. That's why I didn't like Apple, because Apple traps you in their ecosystem. But not anymore, but originally they did.
Right. But that's the thing that people actually do like about Tesla is the fact
it works well, but the repair is terrible. The repair service is horrible.
And the reason why they prefer it is because that means that the only individuals that could ever repair it are people who are only doing that versus people
only Tesla people can repair Tesla vehicles,
and that's why the charge is so crazy, because you only can do it with them. So it's like they're free to charge whatever. It's like, it's like, what are you gonna do? Go to the mechanic down the street? It's like he opens the hood, he gonna break it apart. It's like he don't have that same ability, and I don't think Tesla would allow you to go to the mechanic.
You can't go there if you wanted to, because you can't even take apart the car without certain specific tools and such with that Tesla has. That's why you can't do it. And plus, it's a computer programmed device basically, and so you have to be able to run this the actual tool that scans all the different functions in the car, see what's wrong. You can't even do that without the Tesla. So a lot of things you can't do without actually going to a Tesla repair shop or going to a Tesla mechanic. And so that's the main thing that stops me from thinking about wanting a Tesla. Because a lot of the other companies like Ford and Ford building their e-car. And also a Toyota doing it. So they got a lot of fuel coming out in the next 3 to 5 years, and I'm pretty sure their ecosystem is not going to trap you in. It's just going to be, can you find a mechanic that does electrical cars? But I guess that's going to grow as well, because they're going to get trained in them, and they're just going to get certified. The mechanics already are mechanics.
Yes, yeah. The future of mechanics is definitely clear that you got to know how to work with electricity, or else
everyone has to get smarter. Basically, everyone has to get smarter, basically, to fit into the new roles. Hopefully, the pay goes up as well, because they're going to have a lot more training for almost everything.
It's the same with people that repaired phones, that they didn't repair touchscreen until there were so many people that were demanding, "Hey, my Nokia bricked 1 out of 10 customers, 9 out of 10 customers, my iPhone screen is cracked." It's like, I don't know how to fix iPhone screen. It's like, well, buddy, if you want to be in business, you better learn how to fix iPhone screens. If you want to be in business, you better learn how to fix an electric car. You better learn how to do all those things. Now, you did mention a big point, which I think a lot of people definitely want to know what standpoint you would take, as well as what I would take, which is, if it's true that Tesla is the closed system and it's a closed ecosystem, would you like to have other car companies have that same closed system where it's a guaranteed to get solved by an expert? Or would you rather have it, like you mentioned, open market, where anybody who knows how to do the maintenance can do so, whether it's the guy down the street or the person at the shop? Like, let's say the Ford F-150 electric trucks that come out, if something is wrong and you see that, Ford is going to charge you $2,000 to fix it, would you go to Ford and pay that $2,000 or whatever price tag, if it's not covered obviously through warranty? Or would you rather go to the mom and pop shop and risk them not being as delicate with the pieces, because they're not having to train as intensely with those particular small electrical pieces? Because now it's like, well, Tesla is saying you can't absolutely go to nobody, but then if these companies say, well, you can go to anybody, it's like, well, do you want to go to anybody?
Well, my opinion is, I want to say I have no problem with ecosystems and being trapped within them. My problem is that 90% of the time it's not done well, because there's so many facets to the ecosystem. Like, you have to make sure that the quality is always high. You have to make sure that the people that you have certified out there to do their different positions in that ecosystem, such as repair, such as the salesman, such as delivery of the product or vehicle, they all have to be at a certain standard. And the prices need to be standardized, and so they can't charge you higher prices. The amount of time for a process to be complete needs to be standardized. It's such a logistical problem that he's trying to focus on so many other things. So he would have to come back and focus on this logistical problem. And they're already having stop problems with the warehouse and getting vehicles out. And so that's why my problem with ecosystems is that it has to be done right, and it takes a lot to be done right. When in reality, you could just have an open system, and then I can go to a different mechanic. So we're using Tesla. I can go to a different mechanic, and even say they did mess up my vehicle, they have insurance. They gonna cover that. I ain't got to worry about that. They got insurance. I got insurance. I don't have to worry about them messing up my vehicle. Of course, I'm gonna have to lose my vehicle for a while and have to call my insurance to rent a vehicle. But worst case scenario, I'd rather go free market.
You think that the free market would be able to match that quality, or you would just do it?
They have to be trained and certified in that thing. The quality is not guaranteed just because it's inside of an enclosed environment that they control. You can get bad quality everywhere. They're only required. The only thing that's different is they're monitored and managed internally. And so if they mess up, you're more likely. And I'm saying that if it's run well. If it's not run well, all this is mute. And that's what I'm saying. It's way harder to run an enclosed, small network thing for your business. Way harder than allowing you to go to free market. because you got to monitor and manage everything, all the processes, all the different aspects of the company, and make sure it runs well. Like right now, repair is terrible. That's just the bottom line. Repair is terrible, and so if they can get that fixed, I would totally join their ecosystem.
And wouldn't that be one of those good problems though that you would want a company to have?
Now when I have their vehicle and then my window doesn't work and the repair system is still trash, and so I have to wait a month to get my vehicle fixed. No, not what I want.
That's not what you want?
No, not what I want. So I'd rather not get a Tesla if the repair stuff is still that bad.
No, but you can repair it yourself though.
No, you can't. You have to have the Tesla.
Like
only Tesla people can repair Teslas. You have to bring it to a Tesla workshop, or you can't get it repaired.
No, I seen a video of this man. He repaired his own Tesla door. And a couple other features.
Yeah, you can DIY.
There is three people who have been able to do that, like as a business. And I know who you're talking about. He's a black dude, wear glass. I know he's known as the Tesla.
Nah, the video I seen was a white guy.
That's not, y'all are saying it like it's easy. Don't even throw that out there like it's easy.
No, I'm not saying that it's easy. I'm not saying
you have to have an engineering to know how to really take apart a Tesla to put that in. Are you about to say you can do it?
No, not me. But we studied that in we study that in class.
Nigga, you is not. Oh my god!
No.
You study everything. You study the world in class. Nigga, you put the world together. You Gaia. You mother Gaia right now, dog. Like,
no, but we studied that in class because the teacher explained that a Tesla is just a big ass computer. And a random guy actually took it down piece by piece, the whole system, and showed that if
give him his credentials. You can't just say a random guy, because then any random person can be like, I'm a random guy. I could take apart my Tesla.
It sounded like that repairman, because he was a black guy from Massachusetts who had his.
That's what you're talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
He took it apart piece by piece, and literally we discussed
salvaged Teslas and everything.
Yes, yep, and he put them together and stuff like that. And the teacher was literally showing it's a big ass computer. If you
repair backlog is years.
Yes, if you take enough time to learn to do it, yes, you can DIY it. But are you going to take the time? Yeah, are you going to take the time? Are you going to take the time to do that versus just going to the Tesla shop versus going to the mom and pop shop? And what's the difference in the quality? And like you mentioned,
he's quality. You'd rather back engineered the Tesla to put it together and take it apart.
Oh no, but I'm saying would you individually take that much time in order to do so?
No, I don't care about that. I'd pay someone else to do that.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
I'd rather not deal with the hassle. I know where my expertise is at. But my expertise is not that.
But my thing is though, if you know that if all you got to wait is 1 month to get your car up and running, wouldn't that be an actual viable exchange?
It's a particular expensive vehicle car.
It's a luxurious computer,
but
pieces might have to get shipped.
The one thing I will say that they do give you like a little replacement Tesla to drive around in if you have that plan. If you have that plan, insurance with Tesla, which call money too. But I mean, like,
broke out here. I'm just trying to buy the Tesla.
That's on a good day. That's on a good day. Hopefully, you can get it. If they come to repair it, like there's been so many horror stories with Tesla repair that I just want to wait and bide my time. And hopefully in 5 years from now, when I plan on getting
what kind of horror stories are you listening to?
Horror stories that people have.
Your horror stories don't sound real.
Yeah, okay. I know. That's why the horror stories.
Why is Tesla still worth billions of dollars if those horror stories... You do realize, like, when there's an auto recall, the stock tanks like 20 to 30%?
Elon Musk is literally the people's choice. It don't matter what he literally, people love Elon Musk so much.
But a faulty product is different.
It worked out.
It's like when Samsungs were exploding. Did you see how quickly Samsung fixed
that
shit?
Facts.
Samsung's was exploding.
You gotta realize something though. That is a defect. This is not a defect. This is a repair. Everyone's not going crash their vehicle. Majority of people aren't going to crash their vehicle.
But isn't that a horror story?
No, a horror Okay, let me ask you, define what you mean by horror story, because when horror story is after the car is broken that needs to be repaired, is when the horror story, because of the logistics of how hard it is to get it repaired from them. It's not the horror story that it broke. Because you're comparing that a phone breaks because it's defective. That's different from you got into a wreck, which normally doesn't happen. You could drive your car for 5-10 years and not need to ever get it repaired.
It's defective?
No, what do you mean? Why would it be? The person driving the vehicle must be defective because they got into a wreck. What do you mean? The car is defective.
Oh! So you're saying like if something like that happens, then the problem of trying to get it back up.
Yeah, I'm not saying your Tesla breaks down like internally or something. I'm saying like if you need the body work, any kind of repair work, stuff like that.
That's not the best services type thing.
Yeah, not the best for that.
Ooh. Well, that's tough because then, that's tough because I don't know. Because then it's like, how do luxurious automakers
Look at it. There's lines. There is lines to get Tesla repairs sometimes. There's like your car falls into a queue and you have to wait. This man here is talking about he had to wait a year to get his car back because his car was number 130.
Other manufacturers do the same thing?
Other manufacturers, they're certified to work on their vehicles. They release everything, just like Ford, Toyota, all of them. You go to any kind of repair shop around there that deals with those kind of cars. So you don't have a locked market system. It's only for specific kind of cars. For example,
but are you talking
Lamborghinis,
about
Rolls Royces?
Yeah, those
in particular kind of cars that and Tesla falls into that because it's
Tesla's
such a different vehicle.
That's what I'm saying. Like those vehicles, they don't have lines? They don't have in-housing? Where you're only obligated to have repairs done by Lambo, done by Jaguar, done by...
They have car shops. There's car shops that you can go to that are certified by Lamborghini. Like you get started. That's what I'm saying. They can reach out. They can certify. That's what the dude who's in Massachusetts was like. Can you just certify technicians? Which means you give them the information to be able to repair the vehicle. Tesla doesn't want to give anybody no information. I pay all this money, but then I can't repair my own product.
Yeah, I thought that was one of the funniest things. The fact that's like, if you can, like, for example, if you bought your phone, you broke the screen, you could just buy a replacement screen and it's all set. Obviously that would void the warranty, which is the issue with the John Deere situation, and the same with the Tesla. If anybody does any repairs and they figure it out that you repaired it, it's like now your $90,000 vehicle is voided of its warranty. And it's like, that's kind of that's why I think like intellectual properties are going to be like one of the biggest battles legally for businesses in the next couple of years, because they're going to start looking at that with a fine grain of salt. It's like, how much is too much for a company to say this is mine, not yours, versus how much is a person allowed to be able to repair their own thing and still be covered by the warranty. So it's like,
and that's the problem too, is just like, even with that, it's not even just scheduling. It's just they also have to schedule it out. We're so far away, because if you look at per state, some states don't even have a Tesla repair technician in their state. And so that would be an issue in itself. But they say they'll come to them. They'll come to them. I mean, it's so much more of a hassle. It really is. They're building out their ecosystem just like they're building out their
superchargers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Over time, hopefully 5 years from now, it gets corrected. That's why I wait on it. Because, like I said, Elon Musk is known to fix his stuff. So that's why I'm like, I hope that becomes something he fixes eventually. Yeah, I'm not hopping in that water until it's clean.
If he fixes that'd be crazy.
When I was looking at electric cars, there was this one that really caught my attention from China. And it almost looked like the Cybertruck. And I thought that it was pretty hilarious. But then when I started looking at a lot of different electric vehicle alternatives and just concepts, because nobody has like refined it except like Tesla and Chevy with the Volt and stuff like that. But there was like 2 or 3 companies in China that really, it looks like they got it down packed. Like, it looks like they actually have like real solid good numbers. One of them had like a 30-inch display screen on the dashboard, which I thought was freaking cool. Like 30 inches on the dash? Like, what? And the craziest part is like all of them, I think the most expensive one I saw was like $40,000. And I was like, what? This is starting to be really affordable. Like, they're starting it at this price point, and then they're going to start looking at shipping it internationally, because they know that if they bring anything that's anything remotely competitive to Tesla, it's a wrap. Tesla's going to be forced to innovate. They're going to be forced to bring out all the top tier stuff. It's Gucci. It's going to go flying off the shelves even more so, because the people are going to be like, it's more affordable. At least I would take a risk with one of those cars. Shoot, if any of them companies hear me like, yo, I'm looking for a new electric whip, what I'm saying? We still don't have sponsors.
Hey, try to make some deals, get some free utility, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, let me get some free electric cars. Let me put some stickers up and let people know, like, this the next thing, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm pretty sure at some point they're gonna start looking for ambassadors and stuff like that. Just like how with Tesla. But once they get that fixed, it's gonna be good, because the more Elon fixes the issues that his company has, it's like the easier it is for other companies to mimic and make it better at an affordable rate. Even though I know Tesla said that he wants to make affordable Teslas, and he got a $30,000 3 and whatnot.
Nah, that price been rising consistently every month. Right, I don't think it's a realistic dream. Honestly, I think it's going to take a few more models and a few more sales, and from the build out the infrastructure more.
He's going to need like a very small car.
It's gonna take some time for him to build. If he builds out the infrastructure and can secure the things that's needed, it'll be easier. But it's definitely gonna take more time to get something like 30,000, some 29,000.
And I know that the number one thing that he would need is to be able to have affordable renewable energy. So it's like being able to develop the battery capacity to the point where like a very small battery could charge maybe 100, 200 miles. Because think about it. If you live in like a city like New York City, you don't need a $30,000 whip. You could be fine with a $10,000 electric Tesla that goes less than 50 miles type of thing. You know, it's like those are ideas that I don't know if he would be down for, but people be, you know, making cars like the Smart 2 and stuff, and it only goes like 70 miles or whatever, and it's like they're selling for like 20,000 and whatnot, or 15,000, however much they're selling for, and they have a really short range. It's like Tesla could make a killing. You know, imagine the 10,000, but then again, you know, you would oversaturate the market. So it's like, you know, you got to look at demand.
A Tesla at your price point, basically what Apple did. We got the 5C for people who can't afford like the regular iPhones, or who want to get like for the grandma or for like the children and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I would buy that car. Shoot.
Open marketplace. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's there for a reason.
And it would force more technicians. It would force the repair stuff to happen, but then it would also force more problems to arise, which I'm pretty sure, like you mentioned, they don't have access to fix all that, so they have to like build.
Right now, they only got 133 repair centers right now, and then they already have to repair like 100,000 some cars that just got recalled this year. And that's like 1,000 per repair center, so, or however they want to split it up to repair that. But that's a lot of like software. Crazy. That's like a lot of software. That's what I said. It's a logistics issue. And if Elon Musk decides to focus on that, or get somebody to focus on that and get it corrected, I'm pretty sure they're working on it. Like I said, I'm gonna give them 5 years, 5, 6 years before I buy one. I still support Tesla because it's crazy what they've done.
I mean, I'm just not gonna buy one yet. The stockholders are supporting because they're not selling. I
have no faith that they're going to continue to grow and improve. That's why I'm just going to wait.
And it's going to be crazy because I think that if you think about the innovation that Tesla has, I think that they might be able. This is just me being complete nerd and just like putting 1 + 1 = 2. It's just like, yo, can you imagine if one day in the future a Tesla super battery charges up a space rocket? Could you imagine that?
That would be similar to a floppy disk, and now we hold like a tiny little SD card with the size. That'd be similar to that, because the battery would have to shrink in size and weight to be able to launch this. That'd be similar to that innovation of technology.
That would be so wild, because it's like we don't even need gas to literally fly to Mars. And it's like, and then if you take the concept of,
and if it's a battery, it can be solar recharge because we're in space next to the
actual sun. And now you no longer need to waste so much money on gas. You can literally go to Mars, go to Moon, stay there, recharge after a day or two, and then fly back. But to be able to do that, that's a huge scale problem.
That's going to take so long, because the first you have to improve batteries. I think it'll be done in our lifetime, though. If that's being worked on, I think it's a possibility in our lifetime.
I'm pretty sure somebody's working on that.
Because I mean, with all the billionaires and their companies trying to go to space right now, I'm pretty sure it's a thought that they've had, and something, especially Battery Man Musk.
Yeah,
pretty sure Battery Man Musk.
Just like thinking about it, like, oh my gosh, like if they use batteries instead of this as a propulsion system. It's like, would they be able to get enough lift? Would they be able to do this? Well, right now, no. But, exponentially with the smaller batteries that give much more power, I'm pretty sure like the biggest thing would be like overheating or something like that. But again, it's like, it's a good problem to have, because now you got to look at how you're going to solve that problem. How are you going to solve the overheating? How are you going to solve if there's a disconnect between the battery and the thruster and the battery and the solar power connection? And then you got to have astronauts that know about electrical engineering on there, not just space navigation, not just space travel, but actual, that kind of thing. Because you don't want to leave them stranded on the moon and something goes wrong and they don't know how to fix it themselves. And then it's like, you got to listen to their last few words. Ouch. Houston, we definitely got a problem if that's the gun. You know what I'm saying? But You know, because I was thinking about that, like, yo, that'd be kind of wild. Like, if he took his greatest pleasure in renewable energy, sustainable energy, and trying to become, you know, this guru of entering the age of affordable energy to the point where it's like, yeah, you could do that and, you know, mix that up with your, you know, your favorite dream of space travel and make space travel affordable, renewable, and, you know, sustainable energy. And then now you can say Mars can be 100% renewable free. It's like, let's go free Mars, and let's fund it with our US cryptocurrency.
But what? Nah. I mean, possibly at that point we all rocking crypto dollars.
It's like, hey, let's fund it. We need, everybody has to donate their, you know, their crypto money in order to get this, you know, free sustainable. You know, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, you know, I was looking at the news also that billionaires are actually going to have the chance, I think, like within the next 12 months, if not less, to be able to pay for a flight to go to outer space.
Bezos is already bidding on that.
No, it was another company that is already doing it. I forgot. It's like, it's not his company. It's
no. I'm just saying Jeff Bezos has started for people to bid on just seats for his spaceship.
Oh, he's doing that too?
Yep, he's already got people bidding on it.
That's cool. Because the one I'm talking about though is this billionaire who has this company who he's trying to make space exploration like for the 1%. Where it's like, you know, a super expensive amount of money, and it takes you, I don't know if it takes you to his own shuttle or it takes you to the International Space Station, but I thought that was like, obviously if you could afford it, that'd be like kind of like the dopest thing that you could do. It's like you get to cut in line from everybody that's been studying their butts off for like the past 20 years to be an astronaut, and it's like, well, an easy $200,000 gets me a seat. It's like
$2.8 million for 11 minutes on Jeff Bezos' rocket.
Damn, I thought it was $200K. Never mind. Oh well, that's Jeff Bezos, right?
Yeah, that's on Jeff Bezos' rocket, the Blue Origin.
Oh yeah, that's
Blue Origin space flight. His company.
Yeah.
Who is that other little? There was one other dude who was trying to rival a Tesla and rival Elon Musk's rocket company that's failing. I forgot their name. That's how bad they're failing. I gotta find it later.
I mean, this guy right here is creating the Voyager station, which is going to accommodate over 280 guests and be the first commercial space hotel when it's done. And that is going to be crazy because that looks exactly like Elysium from the movie Elysium. And I don't know if you saw that movie.
Nope.
So Elysium is just like where the 1% live off of the space station and they don't need Earth no more. Because they can grow everything from there, so they need Earth for zero reason. If that hotel in the space has the best food, best cuisine, has the best chefs, has the best entertainment, has access to the best medical that the world has to offer, because you're catering to 1%. You're not catering to millionaires. You're catering to the guys with B. You know what I'm saying? To the highest of high. You know, being able to be up there.
Big,
yeah, being able to be big on space, that Instagram story is going to be different.
Oh my God. That Instagram story going to be different.
Yeah, that Instagram post is going to get likes. You know what I'm saying? I bet you that's going to, you know, what if space gets regulated to that level, I bet you there's going to be people that are going to be hitting up their free meal ticket and be like, yo, babe, you gonna take me up there without your wifey?
Space meals. We're gonna get. It orbits around. It goes up there for about 45 minutes. We give you five courses. Then we land you back down. Okay.
Yo, imagine if they came
a couple million.
Yo, imagine they came up with a special project or whatever just for like side chicks or something. Where it's like, for an extra amount.
Side chick for real.
Yeah, it's like, for an extra amount, we'll bring the wifey here to this pod, but side chick, she's gonna go to that pod, and if you want, they won't even know about it.
The cost of flight, it ain't even that much money. These billionaires, this is another million.
2.8 million. That means all of Jeff Bezos' closest billionaire friends could scoff at that. It's like, put it on the invoice for Berkshire Hathaway.
I'm a billionaire. I ain't going up there. What you mean?
No, I would definitely want to go up there. I would want to see, like, damn,
Bro, what? You gonna be in? Man, that's gonna take 5 years to get to Mars, I believe.
Yeah, that's why I'm gonna be on 1001.
I think like how many years? Gonna take way too long.
And if that, I might be on the it might be the last thing I do before I pass away. That's like, hey guys, let me pass away in Mars, but bring my body back to Earth. JK.
Yeah, what?
I don't know. You think they allow selfish requests like that? I'd be like, yo, I left a trust fund of $2 billion for this request. Come on now. And they'll be like, man,
financially,
give us money back. It's like as soon as the transaction goes through, it's like, thank you for your USD cryptocurrencies. Now
they'll bring your body back. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Like, yeah, that'd be wild.
At some point, hopefully, I can upload my brainwaves. So we talk about crazy stuff.
Yeah, that's the next kind of crazy stuff that's going to be happening in the science.
On my NFT, y'all going to be looking at artwork of my brainwaves.
Yo, like that Neuralink, man. Shoot, once I saw that monkey controlling that thing, I was like, yo, y'all ready for that VR gaming? It's coming. That VR gaming is going to be taking the world by storm for real. If they're going to get that Neuralink like that, oh, they're definitely going to get a whole lot of augmented reality and virtual reality out of that, as well as who else knows what they're going to be able to do. Like, they might be able to start measuring like how much data our brains can hold type thing. Like, damn, how much data can?
Are you saying we're gonna have options in our bodies and our brain, just like we have on like our cell phones? Like, hey, I want it on vibrate today. I want to wake up to vibrate internally. So then I wake up, my body starts shaking, wake me up instead. That what you telling me basically?
Yeah,
some crazy shit like that.
and it's funny again.
Funny though. We're gonna really start doing mods to our body eventually,
bro. I bring up.
We already are.
I bring up Elysium because it happened in Elysium. They actually modded humans to the point where Neuralink was in Elysium, and Elysium came out in like 2009. And back then, that was a crazy sci-fi where people would connect the computer to the brain, and then the government could either control it or people could hack into it type of thing. And people were like, that's never going to happen. Humans aren't going to be stupid enough to create a $1 billion hotel and only have access to it themselves. There's no way they would do that. And there's no way that they would leave the poor ones on Earth to rot away. And it's like, have you been looking at the news? Like, that's all they're doing. Like, you got literally like the top couple of, like the top out of the top 100 companies in the world, or the top 100 most rich people in the world, like at least 5 of them are planning interplanetary space travel, and at least like 2 of them are interested in interplanetary space domination for the human race.
We got all this says is that all this amounts to really is that we got a lot of interesting things coming up in the next about 10 to 20 years, possibly 5 for certain things.
Yeah,
we have a very interesting future coming up.
Yeah, so you definitely know Argue Bro is going to be on top of it as much as we can. So if you guys liked anything that we talked about, if you guys liked any of the arguments, if you guys hated what we talked about, you got to let us know, because then we'll argue about it.
I want to let y'all know one last thing, guys, man. If y'all like any of the topic, we're going to talk about a variety of topics on Argue Bros. If you like any of the topics, just come back, give us a listen, maybe give us a follow on the different platforms we on. And the last thing I want to leave y'all with is respect everybody that can be respected, because we could possibly have a Kwame Brown in our history, and you don't want Kwame Brown coming after you 20 years later. Okay, that's all I'm saying. You don't want your own Kwame Brown hitting you up on whatever Instagram is 20 years from now.
Nope. You definitely don't want that. But with that said, Argue Bros, we came, we saw, we conquered, we gave y'all some information. We did it the best way that we could, and unfortunately, it is Argue Bros. So, even though Fred doesn't believe that we argue too much, because now we're just all of one accord, there's a lot of disagreements. So if you guys thought that, anybody was right, anybody was wrong, let us know, because we'll definitely look at it with a grain of salt. Other than that, Penguin here, Fred in progress there. Just Freeman, he left, but you know what I'm saying? We still family, we still good. It's all good. Other than that, episode either 5, 6, 7, or 8 done.
Peace.
You've been listening to Argue Bros. We hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget to follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and leave us a review to let us know what you think. Keep listening, and we'll catch up with you next week.